Step down, saved by Croddick.
That is a big-time stop.
Brilliant.
High up in the air.
See the reflexes
Right.
there?
He took that one off the offside elbow, I think, and the ball ricocheted up into the air, 30 yards.
Hell of a ground ball by Michael Bath. Leads his team in ground balls and caused turnovers. Ground balls not from a face-off man. Here's Mackesy.
You could tell by that last clear from Princeton, their objective is to get it out quick. They do not want to have any type of scenario.
That's a great point.
Mackesy here, a little bit of room, gets back to his left. He shoots, scores! Princeton's on the board.
They're playing Freebird. You'll hear this song quite a bit tonight, gents.
15 yards on the distance here. Watch the rollback. Lefty sets it up, press right-handed. Watch him give a strong right-handed move, plant that foot, turn, rip it low.
And he makes that real
forte, and he is awesome when he turns the corner, sneak attacks, and releases it before the goalie really understands what's happening. And many times we've seen him jam that ball between the legs of the goaltender.
You're spot on. And he doesn't do it with like a crazy burst of speed.
It's almost an extended cradle.
Yes.
Like a lever shot.
Yeah, he reaches his arms out. When he reaches out, he doesn't have to cock the stick back. It's the flick of the wrists rather than having to bring the stick back and lose more angle. When he gets above goal line extended, it's just a little flick of the wrist.
Botkiss is a quick guy, 27 in gray. He can move. Here's Spidell. Being checked by Michael Bath, 17. Now he comes upfield. Shot, score! Harvard's on the board.
Step down city for the Crimson. They finally break the seal. Double team drawn right there. Catch, set your feet and let it rip. And he beats Croddick down low. By goaltending, they've relied heavily on Croddick. Today they're looking really good. The midfielders, the shorties have won their matchups. The Poles are not creating offense with bad slides, right? We haven't seen a bad slide yet.
Yeah, and Harvard's turning the ball over. A lot of that has to do with the pressure. 7 turnovers already in this game. And to your point, the defense is creating a lot of those.
Smart. I haven't seen bad slides or bad rotations.
If you just turned on this game right now and 10 minutes left to go in the first half and it's 1-1, would you guys be shocked at that
Yes.
score?
I'm surprised, yes.
Cameron, look at that move, score!
That's real. That is a sick rip. Watch the explosiveness.
Left to right.
Yeah, watch the explosiveness that allows him to get his hands free. This is...
Plant, left, boom.
Yeah, that
Jab
is
step.
high end.
Tell you, Sean Cameron, super quick.
Wow.
Senior from New Hampshire, which is interesting.
Well, it's been a slower paced game. I think you're less concerned about legs.
Tried to skip it over to Dumfries, picked off nicely. A little bit of speed there. Ray Dirth, that name's familiar.
Two brothers played Division I.
Yes.
Cal at BU, Peter at Syracuse.
Dirth Vader, Peter Dirth.
Yeah, Cal's a great athlete. The whole family, these kids can run the Dirth. They actually live in Ridgefield, Connecticut, where I currently live. Watch them play in high school.
Botkiss gets a free ride right to the crease and scores.
This ball pops out of his stick awkwardly. Maybe there's some deception here. Does he look down and push this up? Because Croddick bought on it low. So you'll see the goaltender. You'll see the goaltenders move low. Shot goes high.
There's the most subtle shoulder dip from a deception perspective, right? That release capitalize on the 2 extra men.
Didn't happen. So now they're man up for the next 30 seconds. And King runs the show from up top.
50% on the year for Harvard EMO, right?
9th best in the country. Shot from the outside.
I don't mind that early in an extra man because it kind of gives the defense an alert to say, we're going to bomb from the outside. You need to come out here and play us, and that can open things up. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Malone missed. Here's it. Spider, that's a tough angle. He scores, though, anyways.
Thought he was terrific in the early season matchup against the Princeton Tigers. Spidell so crafty around goal line extended. Craddock's been tough to solve. It's been exceptional. Harvard figuring him out a bit.
Athlete or like Chris Cotter in a corporation. 21 ways Cotter, you can be a better teammate. I highly recommend it.
I should read that. A few tips. Princeton's just 2 of 17 shooting. What's going on there?
I think Harvard has...
I think it's the quality of shots I don't love, right?
I think Harvard has pressed out to them, and also, if you look at Harvard, with Jerry Byrne, who knows the defensive side of the field as well as anyone, their approaches, like they're really dialed with their approaches. Right there is a perfect example.
Good sneaky shot, though, by Palumbo.
It's a kiss of death you just put on.
I did. But here's the deal. The Princeton offensive players are so slick. Like, that was initially a good approach on a left-handed player. Right here, he gets the ball.
Goal was scored.
Yes,
because then you
he
have
pushes
the approach.
him down the angle.
Yeah,
loses it, but it doesn't matter.
That pick set up this goal. It's a pick, roll off, dodge the approach, split right to left.
It's coming for Caitlin. That place will be rocking.
That place will be killing Bob.
4 o'clock East on ESPN, and coverage begins with WNBA Countdown at 3. Three of us, meanwhile, at that very time, will be hauling it to Bristol for the selection show Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
You guys going to help this year with the driving?
Or 9 o'clock?
9:30.
9:30.
Women's is at 9. Men's at 9:30. My question is, will you two clowns help?
Beautiful quick stick by John Dunphy inside. Couple for Princeton now. They've retaken the lead.
There's the passing, right? The precision passing and the stick skills. And I mentioned this earlier, Quinn, the confidence to jam it inside.
I think it's Barbecue Burns with the assist, 0. Starts with the wing dodge. Cameron's got great feet, spins it behind. It's Burns.
Yeah.
And a little subtle cut to that right-handed post from Dunphy. And he just, again, when you play inside, it's about shoulders, it's about...
Clock ticking down to 2 minutes in this first half.
Right there, goosed by the Harvard defender.
Yeah, that should have been Princeton's ball.
Call goes their way. Let's see if they take advantage.
Good eyes, Q.
King got to step on his defender. Product went down temporarily, got back up.
You see how Mulshine just covers a lot of ground, though, on King?
Recovers. How did he get open? How on earth did Miles Botkiss get that open? Why did his defender leave him?
Botkiss is skilled.
This happens fast behind the net. You'll see the breakdown. Right, it's just a guy who falls down. What are you going to do? I mean, when Jackson Green gets tripped up, somebody's got to come to his aid.
Yep. But Botkiss...
Physical defense by Mulshine on the far post, and Craddock diving from pipe to pipe. Did he actually make that save?
I got to see this again. That goal looked really wide open from my vantage point. And Craddock kept it out. Final 7 seconds. Oh, what a goal by Kabiri! With 2.5 left to go, and the pass was exquisite.
Michael Bath with his skip pass. Former long stick midi, now playing close defense. Clark, we spotted this kid when he was in high school at the Naptown Annapolis Challenge.
He was all over the field that day.
He was magical with the stick, and the senior from Gonzaga watch him throw this aggressive skip pass to the back post.
That was phenomenal. Look how quick he pulls this off too. Killer against him.
Switches it back to his left. That shot was deflected high.
He ran by him. He just, when he switched hands, it was almost if he struggled to get the release.
Like alligator arms almost.
Clean hands, yeah.
Spidel loses it temporarily, picks it up. Ip shoots that one wide.
These midfielders are very athletic.
Yes.
Like they can own one-on-one matchups.
Ip is a runner. Botkus can move. Gaffney really skilled.
That's what I would do. Like if you're having trouble with King finding separation, Bath here on Spidel, a heavy dose of the...
Oh, tough angle from 4 and Gray, and yet he still buries it.
How the heck did he shoot that?
I had no idea that was coming, right? I thought he was heading up.
Right. You're in mid
goal line extended, yeah.
Watch this. Watch him tuck this around the defensive player.
Wow.
To the far post. You know, people like to label Jack Spidel as a crease guy.
With all these athletic middies, like, let's get a dose of that. Spidel's like, be quiet.
Played with what?
I got this.
Did he play with Brennan O'Neill in high school?
Yeah, St. Anthony's, Michael Leo and Owen Duffy, too.
So he was,
think of those alphas he played with.
So he was never the featured guy. He played a role, scored a zillion goals.
Andrew McAdory, right? You play with Andrew McAdory, Michael Leo, Owen Duffy, Brennan O'Neill, right? Over the course of your high school career.
I wonder how they had enough lacrosse balls to go around all those sticks. That is Princeton counter. Burns, skip pass on the far side. That's just too easy right there. Bonanno, he finally gets on the scoreboard after a nice pass from Colin Burns.
This guy is really heating up. If you look at his production over the last bunch of games, he's becoming like their key guy at the midfield, production-wise. And Bonanno is going to slide into the Macassee left-handed side.
Back on top by a goal.
Little sub game by Harvard.
Here's King, 0 points on the day on 3 shots. He's been shut down while Spidel is taking up the slack.
Watch the patience of Mulshine. Covers ground and never lunges. Almost to what Jerry Byrne was saying with the feet.
Good feet inside, and it pays off. Teddy Malone evens this game at 6 apiece.
Get the feeling that this game might open up a bit now in the second half. Feels like both offenses are more dialed in. The delay is no longer a factor, and teams are starting to find their flow.
There's a midfield initiating play by
Gaffney.
Gaffney, yeah, third.
Into the halftime, and I think chilled out a bit, and their coaches explained how they're being played.
Got to get the ball across the midfield line. They don't do it. Clearing violation goes back to Princeton. You got to clear it once that shot clock hits 60 seconds. If it isn't across that midfield line, it's a turnover. First failed clear for Harvard on the day.
Talk about the teams making adjustments. 2 great offensive coordinators, Neil Hutchinson from Harvard, Jimmy Mitchell from Princeton.
Wade, he scores.
Freebirds playing again. What I like about this play from Tucker Wade is when he catches the ball, he realizes all of the real estate in front of him to increase his angle and to stare down Stevens, right? Like that quick turn to the middle of the...
Harvard on the run.
Princeton got back in the hole now. Let's see if Harvard can create some matchups. They got Dunphy caught on. 48 with the black knee brace.
So here's Arendt. Looking for a pick. Now Princeton tries to sub him out. And they got away with it. Not for long, though. Sean Arendt, the fourth, with his first on the night.
They're inviting the outside shot, Q, and it came back and bit them.
Defense gets so condensed here. Look at their splits. This shot comes from about 11 yards. Look how tight Princeton's defense is. Dead center, Orange. I mean, line it up, put it on the tee, find a net.
Them hosting a first round game. Princeton is going to host, and Cornell's going to host. I think Harvard could make a case for themselves hosting.
They
as well.
beat Syracuse.
Yeah.
Syracuse wins the ACC on Sunday. I mean, that's a huge win for them.
If you look at the Big Ten, I'm looking at 3 hosts.
3 hosts for sure.
Maryland, Penn State, Ohio State.
They'd be in the mix, that's for sure. First things first, though, got to get the W tonight.
Could have a couple juicy first-round matchups, by the way, this year, guys.
7 ties in this game, 2 lead changes. It has been nip and tuck the entire way. Mackesy here. That is a tough shot, but he gets it to go anyway. He's an All-American, Tewaaraton Award candidate. And he showed us just why on that play.
Scored earlier on a rollback. This is a similar move. Press the middle, roll back to his left. His release is really snappy. He gets a lot out of his wrists. He's got great torque. And that ball gets...
From range, too. Came in as a midfielder, then moved to attack, and part of that incredible line of Hess, Hubbard, and Massey that won 3 national championships. But it's incredible what Coulter Mackesy is doing.
This is a great opportunity for Harvard, and they cash in with Spidell.
I love how aggressive they are off of this ground ball. This game is starting to get some momentum. It's got pace. It's got counters. There it is, right? Like, statistically, they lost that face-off. They lost the battle, but they won the war. And this is vintage Harvard, right? They're going to press and harass you right off that face-off win.
They ambush.
They'll take on the winner Sunday afternoon for the Ivy League Tournament Championship and the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Mackesy trying to get under his defender. Finally did, but didn't have a good angle. Here's Dunphy. Just got a step wide.
Dunphy's got some shake to him as well. The issue with Dunphy, though, is shooting only 12% on the season.
Kabiri. Coming upfield, now he's got the shorty on him. Good look inside, score! Another brilliant pass from Nate Kabiri, and it's Braden Saris on the receiving end.
This is exactly what I was talking about from earlier, how quick he gets passes off to the other side of the field. This is about as elite of a backside pass you can make. That's sick.
Throws him open. Saris, the senior from Burlington, Ontario, just kind of flashes to the back post.
In terms of breaking defenders down in the one-on-one game, and when you go zone, you kind of counter that a little bit.
Harvard's turned it over 15 times tonight. Mackesy will give to Bonanno. Palumbo down the alley to the near side. Bonanno shut off. Give it back to the freshman. That's a move. And a goal. Wow, Tucker Wade.
That was sick, right-handed far wing. Kind of a face dodge. He's able to clear and flip his hips and his shoulders to get great velocity. See, Kark, when he initially does that, you're Harvard and Jerry Burns got a decision. How aggressive do you get?
Very. I mean, they could bleed this out to like 110.
They cut the game in half.
And McMeekin's been dominating at the faceoff dot. So even if you gave one up, you'd have to feel pretty confident that he could get possession.
That's why you jump it earlier when you know that's on the backside.
Princeton with a timeout. Field balance is critical, and that's why they're operating with the ball behind the net.
And look at the midfielders shifting high.
Didn't matter to Sean Cameron. He was going to grip and rip anyway.
Normally, you would like to do that later in the shot clock, but you mentioned, Cotter, the dominating aspects with McMeekin. A 3-goal lead. If that's a 1-goal lead, there's no way you take this shot. But it's a 2-goal lead, and to make it 3, the breathing room makes sense, because on a 1-goal lead and you get it.
He's going to have to make something happen here, and he's just hounded the whole way. Do get a flag here, but the horn's going to sound before the call's made. Be careful here.
Walk away. You got to play. You got some games to play. Harvard showed some toughness all season long. There's some changing dynamics in the Ivy League. Dartmouth broke through a little bit this year. Like the Ivy is about as competitive as a league as you'll find, and moving forward, it's only going to continue.
We thought this game would be high scoring. It turns into kind of a defensive battle, and Princeton going to the zone defense for Matt Madelon was the winning adjustment. And I think
Great adjustment.
I think it says a lot about Princeton to be able to win a game